getting started. No. Hi, it's me again. It's been a while.
Guys, don't be like my friend here who didn't do anything. Not doing anything is part of the problem.
Anyways, I hope this will be fruitful for the both of us. I'm sorry I disappointed all 10 of you, but hopefully from now on we will be having new content, and with this new computer that I bought with my hard-earned money, I will be able to make more content better than ever before. So, now on to me reading fanfiction. J-Hope. Mafia. No. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. Paid stories? Submitting to Alpha because I liked paranormal. You know what? I did not come here for any of this. You know what I came here for? There we go. There we go. So we have 6 options. There's 6 published stories. Am I gonna follow? Obviously, yes. Given. Done. We have the Lemonade Charade, Love, Lemonade, and Deception, the Forbidden Fruit Tea, the Final Strawberry Lemonade, the Island of Truth Project Sip, and The Thirst. These are all great novels that I'm clearly ready to enjoy. What's happening here? Oh no. No. I'm very scared. Sheila was in love with Edward. There was no doubt about it. Their shared passion for Wendy's lemonade created an unbreakable connection, or so she thought. Edward had begun acting suspicious, and Sheila was determined to get to the bottom of it. What she found can make it even the sweetest love story go sour. Just walk home. Go home. You don't want to see what's behind that door, Sheila whispered to herself as she tiptoed down the hall. It's behind the door. But she knew she couldn't pretend anymore. Edward had been acting strange for days. In fact, he started acting distant the day after he so kindly brought her favorite drink, Wendy's lemon limeade, to work, just because. He was so considerate like that, always thinking of others. That's what made her fall in love with him in the first place, but now, for reasons she couldn't explain, she felt the emotional gap between them widening with each moment. He's definitely cheating. A lesser woman might have gone on like nothing was wrong, avoid making a fuss, but Sheila, well, she was no ordinary woman. She knew what she wanted and had no problem fighting for it, and the love she and Edward shared, and she'd fight for that until her dying breath. Honey, it can't be that good. Sheila continued tiptoeing down the hall, her fears beginning to swell and burn in her chest. She felt a craving for Wendy's limeade creeping in, but even that sweet, sweet nectar couldn't cure the burning pain and uncertainty in her heart. What would she find? Possibly nothing, but she wasn't naive. She knew Edward was a dashing man. Women pined after him. As she approached the door, Sheila heard his laugh, that infectious laugh that always made her feel like a schoolgirl being kissed for the first time. But this time, the laugh wasn't for her. She heard a woman's voice. No, it couldn't be. Not after everything they shared. The heartache, the joy, the icy cold Wendy's beverages. Let me be yours. It's gonna be a fucking Wendy's drink. Let me try yours. I just want to taste. The woman's voice cooed softly. Sheila heard a slurping noise, accompanied by more laughter. Oh, stop it, Edward. Sheila felt sick. After all this time, he was throwing everything they had built together. Shaking, she raised her hand to turn the doorknob. Sheila, she said, you need to know the truth. You can't keep living behind these limeade-colored glasses. No longer can you give your love to a man who doesn't deserve it. With one deep breath, she finally mustered the courage to turn the doorknob and open the door. It's gonna be the limeade. Let's make bets. It's gonna be the limeade. I knew it, Edward, Sheila exclaimed as she burst into the room. Am I depressed? Quiz. Wattpad's trying to tell us something. Not a point. But she wasn't prepared for what she saw next. Sheila expected to see him with someone else, but what she found was far worse than she could ever imagine. There he was, the man he had given her heart to, her youth, even her sanity. sitting at his kitchen table with another woman. Both had a Wendy's limeade in hand. The betrayal was unfathomable. After everything they had been through, he was drinking a Wendy's limeade with this stranger. Dump his ass. Dump his ass. Edward, how could you? I thought you may be having an affair, but this is worse than I ever could have imagined. He literally could have killed someone. Sheila? Edward stammered. He was in such shock that he could barely find the words. What are you doing here? You know exactly what I'm doing here, Edward. You've been acting strange since last Thursday, and I just couldn't take it anymore. Sheila screamed as tears began streaming down her face. Edward looked over a woman sitting beside him. I am so sorry. Oh, you're sorry to her? Sheila exclaimed, trying to wipe away her tears. Is it Wendy? Is the other woman Wendy? The other woman's eyes started back and forth between Edward and Sheila as she took a long sip of the Wendy's limeade. Who is this, Edward? Who am I? Sheila took a step toward the woman who leaned back in her chair in fear. Who are you? Sheila, seriously, I don't know what's going on here, Edward pleaded. I gave you everything, Edward, and this is how you repay me? I just don't understand how you could be drinking limeade with someone else. What happened Thursday? Sheila, is this about Thursday? About the Wendy's limeade I got with you? No, it's about the life we were building together. The future you so carelessly threw away. I'm so confused right now, Edward, the other woman whispered. Sheila looked back at her and swiftly snatched the other limeade out of the other woman's hand. This should be mine. Sheila, Edward banged his fist on the kitchen table. I bought you a limeade last week to be nice. I don't know what kind of story you've been connecting in your head, but there's nothing between us. What? How dare you deny our love just to impress your mistress? Sheila, is this a joke? I literally have never seen you outside the office. You're married. You have a photo of kids on your desk? Damn. I wasn't expecting that. Next. Sheila reached out and stroked Edward's face. Oh, Edward slowly grabbed her hands and lowered it from his cheek. I think you need to leave immediately. This is getting weird. And then the rage set in. Well, if I can't have you, then you don't deserve these. Sheila swiped the lemonade out of his hand and ran to the sink with both beverages. This is what you've driven to me to, Edward, and I will stop at nothing until you hurt like I do. Sheila, please, I'm begging you, not the Wendy's limeades. You made me do this, Edward. Sheila, you mad woman, anything but the limeades. So Edward launched himself at her, but it was too late. In an instant, every last drop of the beautiful Exler was washed down the drain, along with Sheila's ability to ever love again. She's married. She's married. Is it about the limeade or Edward? Because that's where I'm confused at. Like, I don't understand where her hurt is coming from. Anyways, Edward crumpled to his knees, raising his palm towards the sky, sobbing. Please, Edward, get a hold of yourself. It will all be okay. Janine's attempts to soothe the poor, thirsty man were futile, and Edward continued sobbing uncontrollably. Sheila tossed the empty cups at Edward's limp body, like. And then she reached into her purse and pulled out a glistening Wendy's lemonade. And she did not. This is why I always travel with the spare, as Sheila declared as she took a sip of her Wendy's lemonade and walked out the door. So Sheila, let me just sum that up for you. She poured the lemonade all over Edward's dying body because he was thirsty. He was basically dying. And then he was like, she reached to her purse and went, I have some right here because I always carry some. Was that it? That was all. That was terrible, but great all at once. Let's see what the comments have to say. Sheila gets the death penalty. I think we need a fan cast the next one. Like, it was good and all, but we didn't have a fan cast. Here's The Thirst. It's also 3 chapters. I think that's a good little mix we have. Another 3-chapter novel. See how that one holds up to the other one. We'll try the thirst, see what happens. Let's read a little preview. Sydney's life has gotten a little predictable. She went to the same boring job every day and had the same boring conversation until a mysterious stranger showed up and changed everything. What was his secret? Perhaps it had something to do with the strawberry watermelon Wendy's beverage he constantly sipping from. Whatever it was, Sydney wanted it. Okay, so we need some actors, obviously. So let's come up with some actors. Let's look at girl actors. Obviously, we're going to make a movie out of this. And I don't know any of these people. I don't think any of them can be Sydney. Sydney is in her own. Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson can be anyone. Do you guys know Jane Lynch? Y'all know her? This is the only reasonable option. So, okay. So, as Sydney, we will be having Jane Lynch. Male actors? Type. Clint Eastwood? No. Johnny Depp. He's pretty mysterious. I think we need Johnny Depp as an actor. He's our actor. Just add a strawberry lemonade right there, or strawberry watermelon lemonade right there. He's our actor. So we have Jane Lynch as Sydney, Johnny Depp as the strange mystery man. Let's read. The thirst. These tears do me good. They have watered the parched place and have left it a little salty, because tears are salty. Unknown. It was a Wednesday. In other words, it was like any other day. Only today, George was wearing a yellow tie. George is my desk neighbor. Oh, we didn't... Okay, Mr. Shu will be George. But I wouldn't say we are exactly neighborly, if you know what... Not Mr. Shu. I know this sounds harsh, but I try to avoid him most days. Yeah, that's Mr. Shu. George was drinking coffee and talking to Suzanne, but Suzanne wasn't listening, because people rarely listen to George. He talks about fishing a lot, and no one besides George is into fishing. So when George comes by, we pretend to work. We pretend to work all the time. But we especially pretend when George comes by. I stare at my computer screen doing nothing except making sure I don't keep eye contact with George. Judy from HR walked into our area, and I have never seen George move so fast back to his cubicle. Maybe she was here to put me out of my misery. It would be a mercy firing for sure. Maybe then my life would become interesting. That's sad. She walked toward me and stared at the empty cubicle next to me. It's where Jeff used to sit. Who's Jeff? I can't do this many actors, but Jeff is from Community. That's Jeff. Come on, I can't put all the work into the actors. Jeff moved out of state. We made empty promises about a long-distance relationship working, but we all know the ending to that story. They broke up, which makes sense. Judy had a rag in her hand, and she started wiping down the cubicle desk. Everyone, she yelled, there is a new employee starting tomorrow, and I'd like to give you a big DT corporate welcome. Then she left our area, and George returned to talk to Susan. Him? Did she say him? The thought of a new employee at DT Corporate was the most exciting thing that happened to me in months. He could be a 65-year-old with an eye patch, and it would be more interesting than the current situation. Sydney, get a hobby, because that's really sad. No one cares about their corporate life. More quotes. We are meant to taste life and drink it through a straw in a cup with lots of ice, especially on a hot day. Unknown. I sat down at my desk, turned on my computer, beep boop beep boop, and anxiously waited for the new someone to enter my life. Who's this new someone? Hello? Oh, wait. Should I do like a corpse voice for him? It's obviously Johnny Depp, but he talks like corpse. I am kind of liking that for this role, so. Shit. Oh, that someone said to me. That's corpse. I stood up in my cubicle. There was a man sitting at the previously empty desk. I could swear He wasn't there when I walked in. He had pale skin and long black hair that was slicked back. That's basically Johnny Depp. That's Johnny Depp's description right there. He was wearing a black shirt, black jeans, and sunglasses. That's literally Johnny Depp. That's Johnny Depp. I was speechless. I felt drawn in his presence. Finally, I mustered a soft hello. My name is Drax, he said. I'm Sydney. Nice to meet you. His pale skin seemed to glow under the fluorescent office lights. He extended his hands, and I shook it. It was cold to the touch. I almost pulled away, but I felt his force pull me in. He was drinking a bright red drink from a Wendy's cup and seemed to savor every sip. I didn't get much done. Not that I ever get that much done. Drax and I didn't speak the rest of the day. He was in and out of new employee meetings, but I couldn't stop thinking about him. His pasty white skin and those sunglasses. I thought about his eyes. He probably has beautiful eyes. She hasn't seen his eyes. He's been wearing sunglasses. Creepo. As I was packing to leave for the day, Drax stood up from his cubicle with his bright red drink in the Wendy's cup. Will I see you tomorrow? Will I see you tomorrow? He asked. Yes, I said. Then tomorrow we will talk more. I walked out of our area, feeling his eyes on me. That night, I dreamed of Drax, or at least I think I did. He stood up at the foot of my bed, drinking the same drink from the Wendy's cup. His skin was glowing. He told me he had lived for hundreds of years, but he had never met someone as interesting as me. He put his drink down and reached up to take off his sunglasses. I don't have sunglasses. And then I woke up. I was at work early the next morning, and there was Drax with his Wendy's drink. Hello, he said without looking over at me. It was like he sensed me. Did you? My dog is so concerned. Did you sleep well? He asked me. I smiled and didn't say anything. Tell me about yourself, he asked. I told him I had worked at DK Corporate for a few years and that I had recently broken up with someone. He told me that he loved to travel and had been doing it forever. Our conversation was going really great until he abruptly decided to leave. I have to go, he said, and then he left. Drax kind of sucks. About 30 minutes later, he came back with a full Wendy's. This man is addicted to Wendy's is what I'm hearing, but I'm sorry, he said. Did I say something wrong, I asked. Not at all, he said. I just really like this drink. He stared longingly at the Wendy's cup. The next morning, I decided it was time to take the next step with Drax. We were making casual conversation over a cubicle, and per usual, he was clenching his Wendy drinks with both hands. I put my hands on top of him. They were as cold as ever. I'm ready, I said. Ready? For what? To join you and quench my thirst. You want a sip of my drink? Are you thirsty? This will not be my Wendy's first reading. We're reading all of it. We're just reading the first 2 chapters today. And first 2 novels, not chapters, novels today. And then we're going to read all of them. This will not be the end of the stream. That being said, are you thirsty? Yes, I said. I have a thirst for a new life. With you. He offered me his drink and I took a sip. It tasted of strawberry and watermelon. I was surprised how good it was. It was not what I expected. I stood there for a moment and looked into his eyes. So when does it happen? I asked. When does what happen? He asked. When do I churn? When do I spend the rest of our lives together forever? I'm confused, he said. Don't be. Why are all these? Okay, Sydney and what's her name? I already forgot her name because she was that irrelevant. Was it Claire? No. Both of them are actually in love with the drink, and it is manifested into 2 men. And I'm not saying the men are any better because the men are trash, but these characters are so hopped up and high off Wendy's drinks that they're going insane. I'm confused, he said. Don't be, I said. I took another drink from his Wendy's cup. I must have drunk enough before, but with this last drink, I knew I had officially crossed over into a new world. And I was ready. I stared at him for several minutes and felt nothing, not an ache, a twinge, or even a tickle. Nothing. Okay, seriously, I said. What am I doing wrong? I feel like you and I are not on the same page, he said. Geez, enough with the innuendo. I had to be blatant with this guy. Look, it's obvious you're a vampire, and the drink gives you your power. You dress it up with a Wendy's cuff, but I know what it really is. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm not even surprised she went to that conclusion, because that's the only logical conclusion, is that there was blood in the Wendy's cup. I don't even blame her for that. He looked confused, and as someone can look with sunglasses on. I'm a vampire? He asked. Yes, I know. I said, finally feel like we're making a breakthrough. Why do you think I'm a vampire? He asked. Well, for what? Your name is Drax. Seriously, who has a name like that unless they're a vampire? It was my great-great-grandfather's name. He was beloved, so my parents gave me his name. Strike one. Okay, but what about your pale, cold skin? I asked. My skin is very sensitive to ultralight, he said. I will break out in a rash if I'm exposed to it too much, so I avoid the sun at all costs. And I have an irregular thyroid, which makes my skin cold. I've had it most of my life. Strike two. Well, what about your sunglasses? You wear those inside all the time. No. I suffer from photophobia. My eyes are very sensitive to any kind of light, but especially fluorescent lights, which this office is full of. Yeah, that makes sense, Rex. I was clearly losing this, but I still had the question about the drink. But what about the drink? I asked. You seemed dependent on it. He paused for what seemed like an eternity. Bingo! I had gone somewhere. Sydney, no, you have not. Oh my god, Sydney, you need to take a pause, because this is going nowhere, and you need help. It's Wendy strawberry watermelon fruit tea, he said. I really can't get enough of it. It's all natural flavors. It's sweet, but not too sweet. I felt betrayed. Betrayed by my feelings. There I stood, opposite a man whom I clearly didn't know, my hands on his cold hands. I didn't know what to say, but rather than say nothing, I said, "You're right, Drax. This strawberry watermelon fruit tea is sweet, but not too sweet." I am gonna have to try all these drinks. I'm gonna stream. I'm literally gonna live stream. I'm gonna buy every single Wendy's drink, and I'm going to stack them right here on my desk. And every novel I drink, I'm gonna take a sip. Next one, I'm gonna get whatever this is. Hold on. Read. It's Honest Tropical Green Tea. So I will get the green tea. I'm getting the green tea next stream. I don't know when. It could be 2 weeks from now when I have time. And we're going to do that. I'm going to drink this green tea. And then we're going to read this horrendous book. And it's going to be great. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this. My one viewer. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Till the next time where we read about tropical green tea. Bye.